What's going on, YouTube? Ben B's back again with another review. And this time I'm going to review my Ruger Mini 14. I meant to review this a couple weeks ago, but just wasn't able to get around to it, and now I am. So, so here it is, the Ruger Mini 14. This is the first and only Ruger Mini 14 I've ever owned. The very first rifle I ever shot was a Ruger Mini 14. It wasn't mine, it was someone else's, and it was back in 2004, and it was a synthetic one with a stainless steel barrel and action on it. And I originally was going to go out and buy one after that, but I ended up buying a Bushmaster XM15 E2S, I believe. And that one was a post-band model with a fixed stock, no flash hider, and no bayonet lug, and came with a flush 10-round magazine, which I later got high caps for. But I like the old school rifle look. I've looked at Ruger Ranch rifles for a long time, so now I have one. A little brief history on the Ruger Mini 14. It's based off of the M14, Springfield M14, or well, maybe Winchester also makes them, but the M14 Select Fire battle rifle that came out in the 1950s. The M14 Select Fire battle rifle was chambered in 7.62 by 51 NATO, which is also known as 308 Winchester in its civilian form. The M14 is also descended from the M1 carbine, which is also descended from the original Garand design on the M1 Garand 30-06 battle rifle from World War II. Its magazines are the Rock-In style, kind of like an AK. This is a factory Ruger 30 rounder. It originally came with a flush-fitting 5-rounder that fits right into here, which is extremely difficult to get out. I mean, I pretty much have to shake it out of the gun when it's empty, or when it's full. Just if I want it out of the gun, I have to pretty much shake it out. I bought an additional 10-rounder at the time just because I wanted another magazine, and it sticks out a little about that far out of it, and it looks okay. But the 30-rounder I think looks a lot better. And I may have to go get another. I may have to go get a 20-rounder just to kind of round out the collection. But I like to have, if I can, 2 to 3 mags for any major kind of battle rifle type thing. I've heard that the aftermarket Ruger Mini 14 mags aren't that great, so all my Ruger Mini 14 mags are factories. This is a factory Ruger 30 rounder. You can see it, but it says Ruger on the side. On the bottom, it's got the Ruger, like Phoenix, and it says Mini 14. So, and I've got some PMC full metal jacket, PMC bronze full metal jacket rounds in it. These are 223 rounds. As I understand it, these can fire 5.56 NATO rounds. I prefer to keep 5.56 NATO rounds in my 223 caliber guns. I mean, assuming that they're rated for it. This is the only I own two 223 or 5.56 NATO caliber weapons: the Ruger Mini 14 and the Bushmaster. The way the action, of course, works on this is it's like I said, it borrows heavily from the M1 Garand design. Just like it opens up just like that. The way you lock it, there's a little button here, and the way to lock it open, just like that. The bolt, the tension on the bolt is actually very light. So, you know, if I want to rock one in, it's right there. All I got to do, and all I got to do is that, and it's loaded. One of the other things I thought was kind of cool about it, you know, being that it borrows heavily from the M1 Garand design. I'm trying to set this up. is that you actually don't need to remove the magazine to load it, which I think is particularly helpful with the 5-round magazine. So, you know, say I got the 30 rounder in there, I pulled one of the rounds out. Here it is right here. And the way you can do it, you can top load it just through the breech. Just like that. And then send the bullet forward and you're ready to go. So that's my Ruger Mini 14. It's got the newer ones have thicker barrels on them, and as I understand it, they're more accurate and they don't heat up as fast. The trigger the safety's right here by the trigger, which I think is actually a good spot for it. It doesn't, even when it's safe, it doesn't interfere at all. It has, this is a ranch rifle, so it does have scope rings on it in case I want to mount an optic. I won't, but you know, I guess it's nice for the option. If you look through the sights here, it's got the ghost ring peep sight with the front post sight here. I kind of like the more combat oriented, or the flash hider on the end of it better, but they don't sell those ones at Big 5, and that's where I bought this. And see, these in Colorado are kind of hard to come across. And I paid this was $719 on sale after an additional mag, which was about $40. A box of rounds for like $9, and then, you know, the taxes and everything, it came out to about $825, $824. So this is by no means a cheap rifle, but I remember when they were selling these at Walmart and some of the other gun stores. Well, Walmart's in the gun store, but when they were selling them in some of the gun stores around Denver back about 2004, when I was looking at them originally, you know, they were $400, $500, $600. Now they're $800 rifles. If you go to Ruger's website, the MSRP on this exact rifle is $881. This exact rifle, exact configuration, setup, everything. I gotta get used to these mags. There we go. It's in there. So yeah, I think it looks cool with that longer 30-round mag. So that's the Mini 14 ranch rifle. I haven't shot it yet, but I look forward to it. I really like the rear sight. It kind of reminds me of an AR, which is my preferred platform. And now, speaking of ARs, I have a Bushmaster M4A3. I did a review on it back over last summer. You've seen it. I've been in the process of kind of modding it out, and now that it's over, now that that's done, here it is. Pretty much, this is the Magpul pop-up backup sights. I pretty much have turned this into what's called an MOE rifle. Bushmaster, Colt, and Smith & Wesson all sell their rifles in MOE configurations. What that means is MOE, Magpul MOE, stock, 6th position, I believe. Magpul MOE grip, Magpul 30-round PMag. I also have a 20-round PMag and a 20-round Colt mag. And these are Lake City Arsenal 5.56 NATO. Magpul MOE handguard and the Magpul MOE backup sight. The only thing that this doesn't have that the manufacturer-made MOE rifles have is this. I still have the stock trigger guard on. This one does not have the Magpul MOE trigger guard. I may put one on. I don't know. It's not a big deal, but anyways, I haven't shown this in a while, and this is it right here. I haven't shot it yet in this configuration, but it was kind of in pieces. The AR was kind of in pieces for a while, and now that I have it back together and working and everything, and the way just the way I want it, you know, my collection feels so much more complete. Of course, I still have a few more guns I want to get, but it's so much better now that I have this back together. The other MOE rifles, the Bushmaster and Smith, I believe, have retained the black pop-up rear sight. Excuse me, allergies. But the stock, the grip, the mag, and the forend all match. As you can see, everything matches. Everything on here is Magpul foliage green, except for the stock and the backup sight. The Magpul foliage green stuff's kind of hard to get, so I just went with the black, which I still think looks pretty cool. When I looked at the Colt one, and another thing is I don't think they offer them in green at all. I think it's black or flat dark earth. And the Colt one that I was looking at, the Colt 6920 MOE rifle that I was looking at last week, has a tan, has the tan stock, and its backup sights were also tan. And I think the Bushmaster and Smith & Wesson use a black backup sight, but then the stock is whatever color that the rest of the furniture is. So that's my new Bushmaster. Got it all set up nice. Looks really good. And I can't wait to shoot it like this. I'm sure I'll have to resight it because these are right out of the box. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I pretty much have decided that my next gun is going to be a FN57 pistol to go with my PS90 carbine. That could change, but I think that's what I'm going to get for my birthday here at the end of the month. So, you know, because I originally wanted an FN57 pistol, and I bought that PS90 carbine because it was actually cheaper and there was such a great deal on it. So I held off on the pistol and bought the carbine first, which is still a great choice, but now I think I want the pistol. I also kind of flirt with the idea of going back and forth between, because, you know, I really like ARs. I have the Colt Umarex M422. I've got the Bushmaster. I really want a Colt LE carbine, the 6920, but I don't know if we'll get one or not. And I really, really want an FN Scar in flat dark earth. The FN Scar Heavy would be cool, but I found a place where I can get the Scar 16L, which is the light, which is the 5.56 NATO version, for a lot cheaper. So I may just go with that. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.